Some wars destroy cities, others destroy nations. But the most irreversible destruction in history was not measured in lives, it was measured in lost knowledge. This is not the story of one library, and not of one moment in time. It is the story of how humanity, again and again, set its own memory on fire. Every time a library burned, humanity lost a part of its future. Libraries were never neutral. They preserved identity. They preserved truth. They preserved power. To destroy a library was to erase a people's past and control their future. That is why conquerors didn't just burn cities, they burned memory. Across time and continents, these centers of knowledge rose, flourished, and were tragically lost, leaving behind only echoes of what humanity once knew. The Royal Library of Ashurbanipal in Nineveh was the world's first great collection of knowledge. Thousands of clay tablets recorded laws, literature, astronomy, and medical treatments. The Assyrians believed that preserving knowledge meant preserving power. Yet, when Nineveh fell, the library became a ruin. Tablets were smashed, texts lost forever. Civilizations had taken centuries to record what vanished in a single conquest. Humanity lost a piece of itself centuries before it even realized what it had. Nalanda University in India was more than a library. It was a living, breathing university. Tens of thousands of students studied, copied, and debated manuscripts that spanned philosophy, logic, medicine, and astronomy. When invaders arrived, they burned it for months. Flames consumed knowledge that existed nowhere else on Earth. The fire was so immense that the smoke itself became a legend. An intellectual lineage was severed, and the world would never recover those centuries of wisdom. In the Americas, the Maya Codices told the story of a civilization's mind. Spanish conquerors saw these books as dangerous, heretical, and unnecessary. Thousands of manuscripts were reduced to ash. Only for Codices survived. Astronomy precise beyond Europe's at the time. Calendars mapped to the stars. Centuries of philosophical thought gone. What the world lost was not merely ink on paper, 'twas an entire civilization's voice silenced by belief. Baghdad was the jewel of the Islamic Golden Age. The House of Wisdom gathered scholars from every corner of the known world. Mathematics, medicine, astronomy, engineering, scrolls carried the sum of human curiosity. In 1258, the Mongols invaded. Books were thrown into the Tigris River until the waters darkened with ink. Scholars died, ideas disappeared, and centuries of knowledge vanished in the span of weeks. Civilization had lost more than a city. It had lost momentum. The city of Constantinople, a beacon of civilization for over 1,000 years, housed one of the most influential libraries of the medieval world. When the Fourth Crusade sacked the city in 1204, the imperial collections were burned or plundered. Ancient manuscripts, historical records, and the accumulated wisdom of countless scholars vanished in fire. The loss shaped Europe, creating a gap between the classical past and the Renaissance, a silence that would last centuries. And then, there was Alexandria. The Library of Alexandria was not simply a building filled with books. It was an idea, perhaps the boldest idea humanity had ever attempted. Its creators believed that all human knowledge could be gathered in one place. Every scroll, every theory, every observation about the world and the stars. Ships arriving at the harbor were searched, their books copied, sometimes never returned. Originals were kept, copies were given back. Alexandria became the mind of the ancient world. Mathematicians studied the size of the earth. Astronomers mapped the movement of the heavens. Physicians wrote texts that would remain unmatched for centuries. And then, slowly, it disappeared. Not in one dramatic explosion, but through neglect, conflict, and fire. A library so vast that even its destruction left no clear date. What burned was more than paper. It was accumulated thought, discoveries made too early for their time. When Alexandria fell silent, humanity did not simply lose knowledge. It lost direction. Ideas that could have shaped the future vanished without leaving a trace. And the greatest tragedy is this: we don't even know what we lost. But not everyone watched in silence. Monks hid manuscripts in monasteries. Scholars fled with books instead of gold. Translators worked knowing they might die. They understood something powerful: a single book can outlive an empire. Their quiet courage preserved fragments of the ancient world, enough to rebuild, enough to continue, but never enough to replace what was lost. Empires fall, cities are rebuilt. But once knowledge is destroyed, it rarely returns in the same form. Every burned library was a message sent to the future, a warning about the fragility of memory. Fire destroys paper, but forgetting destroys humanity. And the question is not what we lost. The question is, what are we forgetting right now without even realizing it?